Now, this is a special celebratory issue of Tow and Tell, marking 100 issues of our free digital e-magazine, which is all about the caravan and camping lifestyle here in Australia. And it's been a heck of a journey over about 8 years. And look, what better time to get some of our great friends of GoRV into the studio and talk about the issues that are faced by vanners all over Australia. And I am really pleased to welcome Marg and Bruce Gow, the baby boomers on the road. And of course, we've got our great friend David Sajfar. Each of them are, very experienced caravanners. And let's kick things off by asking, really, Marg and Bruce, why don't you tell us a little bit about the caravan and the tow vehicle that you get around in? I know you're not doing a lot of travelling at the moment, but you'll be getting back on the road soon.
Yeah, we're hopeful of getting back on the road soon, as you say, and we've got an on-the-move 23-foot-6 Grenade Series 2, and we tow it with a 100 Series Land Cruiser.
Okay, and David, now I know that you're a Jayco man, but tell us a little bit about your Silverline and what you tow it with.
Yeah, I've got a 4-year-old Silverline, and I tow it with a 300 Land Cruiser. It's fairly new, and I'm getting used to it and all the electronics and things. But yeah, we're liking things. Yeah. So.
Okay, all right. Look, by the sounds of it, you've got some terrific caravans, and I would imagine, though, that security is a bit of a concern. Caravans and four-wheel drives, they're not cheap, nor are the accessories that we pack and we take along. So, Bruce and Marg, I'll ask you guys first, what are your thoughts on the topic of security when you're on the road? Do you or have you ever had any scares or, anything stolen maybe?
There's only once or twice I think we've had things stolen. Once it was in a caravan park as well. We've never had anything stolen while we've been staying, at a wayside stop or, we don't use them very often anyway, but showgrounds or rec reserves or anything like that outside the caravan park regime. But it's been good. We're fairly careful. You get a reputation. There's towns that have a reputation of increased crime level. So with those places, you make sure that you lock things up. You don't leave your chairs and your tables outside when you go to bed of a night time, or your fridge doesn't stay outside, things like that we would normally have outside the van. Mind you, they're always locked up anyway, but, that's the sort of things that we do.
We always lock, well, it's the same as home. You lock your door, make sure your windows are safe, and you lock the car, and you just act like you have to be careful. That's all. And we don't feel frightened when we travel. We think that we're fairly well covered, and usually there are other people around, so that if something's going on, you soon hear about it.
Yes.
What does caravan security look like to you, David? Is it just a case of making sure that everything's locked up tight?
I think it's more than that. For me, it's my own personal safety of my wife and I. And I believe safety in numbers.
Yes.
So we, as a result, spoke about the towns in northern New South Wales, which can be horrible places on a Friday night if you park near a town, rest area.
Yeah.
You get hoons, circling your van and all sorts of things. So we always make it a point that if we, at 4:00, if we can see a couple of caravanners in a rest area, we'll pull up, say hello. Are you staying the night? We're so-and-so.
Yeah.
Can we join you? You meet a few people, and I feel safer that way. If I can't find another caravan or a couple of caravans to join on a road, in a road rest area, I will absolutely look for a caravan park in the nearest town.
But otherwise, you're just making sure that things are locked down securely, wrapping a bike lock around your generator and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you talked about the idea of safety in numbers, because there is a sense of security that comes with that, camping in an area where other people are also camped up. I was speaking with this truck advocate by the name of Hanan recently, and he said that caravanners often stay in truck rest areas rather than rest areas that are exclusively for cars, because they know that truckies will be pulling in later that evening at, say, 11 o'clock at night, and that gives them a sense of security in that. But, do you think there's validity in that? Because that also creates issues for truck drivers.
Yes, we think that makes it very difficult for the truck drivers, but there are a few places which I think are very sensible. One end is strictly trucks, the other end you can stay overnight in your caravan. So there's a group of people over here in their caravans, but you're leaving that space for the trucks. Works for everybody as long as they all stick to the rules. And of course not everybody does.
No,
but
that's right.
We find if the truck drivers are happy to do that, if we can stay near them without getting in their way, I think that's the ideal solution.
I think for the truck drivers, it's very much about caravanners positioning themselves in such a way that the truck drivers can have easy ingress and egress, because they've got a big double.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
Whereas a caravan, they're long vehicles, but so much more manoeuvrable than a big double.
Well, the other thing applies as well too, Max. That if you might be set up in one of those areas, and at 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning, a fridge-mobile comes in beside him. He's got the motor running on his cooler all night. That's not a pleasant thing. Or it could be loaded with cattle.
It sounds
there's places like that. Yeah, exactly. We hear them rocking and rolling as well in the back of the truck, but. A lot of places, the Nullarbor is a classic case like that, where there's a lot of wayside stops on the way across the Nullarbor. So with those when we did the Nullarbor, we went another 400 or 500 metres inland from where the actual wayside stop was. There were still gravel tracks and things like that around through the scrub, and the scrub was only a couple of feet high, but that gets you away from those fridge motors as well as anything else that's likely to bring up noise.
And I'd also imagine the truck drivers would thank you for it.
Oh, well.
You've got to give them space.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely
more important in the overnight stopping. They have to stop. They have to have the space, so you give them the priority.
Well, what are your experiences with rest areas, David?
Look, I must admit I have parked in truck stops, but I had to. There was no other option, right? Yeah. I became dangerous. I was not fit to drive, so I had no. And I think one or two occasions that I did do that, what I do is as soon as I pull into it, I park somewhere on the side where a truck would not park, either right on the entry or right on the exit, where a caravan can safely move to the side, park to the side. I'll never occupy a truck bay.
Now that GoRV has celebrated its 100th issue milestone, we've decided to sit down with Ben Budd from Sundown RV. You guys have always been one of our key supporters, our key clients for GoRV, but you guys have also seen some real growth yourself since about 2014 when you started.
Yeah, no, that's very true, Max. So, I started the business just in a little corner in here. In about 2014, and just grown. COVID, of course, turbocharged the business, Somebody had to be the winner from COVID, so I think I'll put my hand up for that one. Really did do big things for the business in terms of just increasing volume.
So what brands did you start off with back in the early days?
Oh, very, very early days we had our own branded vans, which were actually made overseas. We still see them coming in for service, still out there, so really the focus has been on quality. Those vans were good quality, they're still out there on the road, we still see them coming back here. And we've moved through a couple of different manufacturers where, for whatever reason, we've decided that's a better offering for our customers. Currently we're selling Hilltop caravans, which we've been doing since 2017, and we're doing Concept and Newlands caravans.
So you've got the Concept, the Newlands and the Hilltops. You get out to the Hilltop National Gatherings and all the Concept events?
Every year I'm there, so which is great. It's always good fun. I normally see Ashley from GoRV there and your team. So that's been an ongoing thing that's happening every year. Then we've got, good used second-hand caravans, which we sell both in our showroom and on our new online auction.
So this episode of Tow and Tell is all about safe towing. What sort of advice are you able to impart to your customers? Do you look at their tow vehicle and help them match up a suitable caravan?
Yeah, so that's a critical part of what we do. So part of it's education, so letting people know, what the rules are. Understanding what the weights mean when you start talking about tear weights and ATM and GVM and GCM, and it's like, oh my God, it's all too much. It's not really that complicated. Normally when we first engage with a customer, that's the first thing that we'll deal with is what's their tow vehicle, what are the limitations, what they can and can't tow. And then from there we can hopefully recommend a caravan that's suitable and safe and compliant.
So Ben, thank you for all of your support for GoRV over the years that we've been in business. I'm really pleased to see that you guys have come so far since 2014. This is a fantastic showroom, and I reckon this would be a really good, afternoon for a family to come out. It's indoors, you're out of the weather, you can take your time looking at all these new beautiful caravans.
Yeah, thank you. So, from my point of view, yes, we've grown over the years. It's great to see GoRV has also had that growth over the years, and, we've done it together, we work together. It's good to have businesses that have synergy, that can actually help each other, all getting benefit, all moving forward.
So if you want to find out a little bit more about Sundowner RV, just go to sundownerrv.com.au, have a look around, and I reckon you'll be just a little bit impressed.
Obviously we've talked about roadside rest areas in relation to security, but, any other tips to keep your caravan and your four-wheel drive safe when you're out there?
We have a tracking device on board. That's satellite driven. So, we're confident in the use of that it'll be secure. I can track it as soon as I get a breach, as soon as there's an electronic fence that keeps that you build up around your caravan. When you set it up, and if the caravan moves outside that area, you get an alert straight away, and you can track the caravan's movements from an app on your phone.
Mm. What about you, David, with your Silverline and 300 series?
Look, I'll come back to my earlier point. I'm not worried about theft. I'm worried about my personal safety. If you look at youth crime, particularly in Victoria, we have no answer for that, and it's getting worse and worse. You're not just dealing with thieves; you're dealing with louts that are on ice and want to be violent with you. They don't care about your caravan, So it's on my mind. I haven't had the personal engagement with such a situation, but I'm very conscious of it, and I don't know what I would do to defend myself other than hand over your keys or your money, but it may not be enough. They may want you, because when you're of that mentality, it's hard to, know what they're going to do. Yeah.
So that's something that really plays on your mind when you're out, even in a regional area or in the outback?
It plays on every Victorian's mind at the moment, yeah. Youth crime and the ice problem we have is out of control, and we as caravanners need to be vigilant. Whilst kids in years gone by would go around caravan parks stealing eskies with alcohol in them, well, it's a lot worse than that now, And you call the police, they're too busy. They laugh at you because they're having to deal with much bigger things in their local towns and come and, deal with your little issue, the fact that some loud, 5 louts are circling your van or something like that. So, again, I always worry about my personal safety more than the assets.
See, it's interesting that you say that. I remember writing a story for GoRV a number of years ago now. There was a family, they were parked up in a holiday park in, those wind-up campers that have the canvas walls and the fold-out beds, etc. And I found this horrifying when I saw this on social media, so I got in contact with them to see if we could write an article to help to get that message of security out there. So Mum and Dad were asleep. The kids were asleep inside their wind-up camper with the canvas walls. Imagine this. This person managed to get inside the camper because these campers aren't as secure as a camper.
Oh, that's right.
They're canvas walls.
Accessible.
So while they were sleeping, he managed to sneak inside and poke and prod around the camper while everyone's asleep. He stole cash, precious jewellery, and all manner of things. But that aside, I saw that as such an invasion. I would never want to go camping again, I don't think, if that happened to me.
Exactly.
Which I think is along the lines of what you're talking about. Your personal safety, but
the circumstances there you would need to go into. Were they around a lot of other people? As David's saying, if there are safety in numbers, are they in an isolated spot and leaving themselves?
Well, this happened in a caravan park, and there was another case 6-8 months ago up in Queensland. A family had pulled into a drive-through site, and the point of those, obviously, is you leave your caravan hitched up so you can make an early start the next day. And somebody had, while the family, again, was asleep inside the caravan, managed to hotwire or start up the vehicle and started towing the caravan away with the family asleep on the inside. Now, the police did catch the guy. They did catch him, fortunately, and I think there were other people who saw what was going on. It must have been reasonably early in the evening, so there were other people around, and started raising the alarm and hooting and hollering, and fortunately the cops got him. But, to your point, David, I mean, you can't be, any more vigilant, really, can you? You have to be on your ball.
Max, it is extreme, it is rare, but it's on our mind. Yeah. And what I fear and what I see happening is caravanners feel, hey, I've got my walking stick, or I've got a pole, or I've got something in a car, and I'm going to defend myself. And based on the advice, I did a bit of research for an article I want to write, and based on the advice I have from somebody who's very experienced in both military and then private defence, they said, do not carry anything. Do not have any form of self-defence, because if it's one person, it's fine. But if it's a couple of people, you may get one shot, two shots, but that's the item that they will use then against you, So you really got to cooperate if you can, and do not carry any form of walking stick or try and use any form of self-defense, and that's kind of what you have to do.
I'm not overly familiar with the law in regards to self-defence either, but I would imagine that in Australia it would be along the lines that if you're brought something for self-defence and you use it, that there would be some blame put on you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. They'll be paroled before you.
But the police will tell you that before all of that happens, they will use it on you. They will take it from you and use it.
So that's the key message. Don't carry any form of self-defence.
Let me assure you, David, with our 6.5 years of full-time travel on the road, we didn't have any violence demonstrated against us, and I don't think we demonstrated any violence against them. But you were in a convoy
for most of that time.
No, you weren't. We travelled solo. Where the convoys were for a TV program.
We lived on the road for 6.5 years, so we just moved a lot.
The times that we had where our losses were one was in the caravan park, and I can't remember where the other one was, but I found the zip open on the awning one morning, and Marg said, "Did I leave the fridge open?" They lift up the Jayco lid, and I said no. And anyway, we went out and had a look, and some of my Guinness cans were missing out of the fridge. I went over to report it.
Very serious, the Guinness cans.
And they were on a vacant block on the way over to reception, and I picked them up. I said, they look like mine. They hadn't been opened. So some youths had pinched them all right. But then I read them, found it was Guinness. No, I'm not going to drink that stuff.
But you got your Guinness.
I got my cans.
That was a happy ending.
It was.
So, look, guys, let us know about your own experiences about caravan security. Have you had a break-in inside your caravan? Let us know in the comments.
I'm with Darren from Safety Dave because Safety Dave has just released their first ever wireless rear vision kit. Now, this is a premium reversing and monitoring solution. It's designed for caravans, motorhomes, four-wheel drives, farm equipment, you name it. This kit's about wireless convenience, reliable performance, and even flexible installation, Darren. So, Darren, what is it about this wireless system by Safety Dave that sets it apart from other wireless reversing and monitoring solutions?
Well, the difference is Safety Dave have been synonymous with the caravan industry for up to 20 years, and Safety Dave prides itself on a few things. One of the things we pride ourselves is on customer service. When someone's dealing with Safety Dave, they know they're going to end up with what we recommend and a good result, what we think is best for them. The other thing we pride ourselves on is a quality product. We haven't gone into this lightly. We've been testing this for up to 2 years, and most people's reaction to us are that wireless doesn't work. So we've made sure that this wireless system is going to work.
And it's available with a 7-inch as well as a 6.2-inch monitor?
Yeah, that's correct. So most people would use a 6.2-inch screen in their car. However, for those with a bigger vehicle, like the American vehicles, or for a motorhome or a truck, you'd probably want to use the 7-inch screen.
So this system, Darren, can support up to 4 cameras?
Yes, correct. So most people would have 1 or 2 cameras. So the most popular version would be 1 camera on the van and maybe 1 on the car to reverse. But seeing as though most vehicles have a canopy now, they can't see out the back, so you'd put a camera on the back of the canopy so you can see there. Then you've got the option to go with up to 4 cameras. You might have cameras on the side of your van so you don't hit anything.
Now, Darren, each camera, though, provides a different field of view. You've got a 45-degree view, a 92-degree view, and what else?
We've got a 120 and a 170 degrees. So I'll just run through what the degrees do. So the traditional view is the 92-degree camera. That's the happy medium between reverse and rear view. So when you're reversing, you can see out the back so you don't hit any trees or any children or any pets, and you can also watch behind you. And when you're watching the traffic behind you, you'll probably see clearly about 50 to 70 metres. The 45-degree camera is the perfect camera, my favourite camera that we sell for true vision. So the true vision allows you to see behind you like you're looking with your eyes. The other camera, being the 120, is a wider view. So that's when if you've got maybe a heavier vehicle like a motorhome or a truck, the 120 is much wider, again, so you won't reverse into anything. And the 170, even wider again. So therefore, if you've got a heavy truck or maybe a horse float and you don't want to, and you've got to make sure you're not hitting anything, you go with the 170 degrees.
So if I've got 4 cameras set up, how do I make sense of what's going on in terms of the in-cab display screen?
All right, so with the screen, you can view one vision at a time, 2 visions at a time, 3 or 4. So in the screen, you can set that up to view that on those options. However, there is a scrolling option on the screen where it can rotate itself.
So a couple of other questions for you. First of all, does this automatically pair?
There are instructions in the manual how to pair the cameras. And when you're pairing the additional cameras, you can pair them by going into the pairing mode. However, in between the pairing of each camera, you will need to turn the power off to the car or the van to pair the additional camera. Not only can you view 1, 2 or 3 or 4 cameras at a time, it's also got parking guidelines that you can use on each camera, and there's also recording in the screens as well as night vision.
So, Darren, this is a wireless system, but I see you've got some cables there.
Yes, correct. So the monitor itself comes with a USB connection into the cigarette lighter or into the USB cable. However, you do have the option to purchase a power loom that we sell traditionally with our wired kits as well. There is the option to purchase a 2-metre cable should the power source be in another location.
So I can see, Darren, that the kit comes with everything that you need for smooth operation and installation. So, mate, thank you. I think this is a fantastic innovation. I'm sure it's going to go well. And what's next for Safety Dave?
Oh, we're very proud of this. We're always coming up with new initiatives. So hold on to this space and you'll see what Safety Dave come up with, because it's very exciting.
And if people want some more information on this product, where would they go?
Well, they can always head to our website, safetydave.com.au, or you can actually phone us. We answer the phone on 1800 072 338, and we're there to assist you with all your requirements.
How about that, folks? A company that actually answers the phone and is willing to talk to you. I think that's brilliant, especially in this day and age. Darren, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Wherever the road takes you, comfort follows. At Thetford, we engineer smarter solutions for life on the road, bringing comfort and performance into every journey.
Well, we're at a Ward RV Superstore, the largest caravan and camping store in Australia. We're situated in Ferntree Gully, Melbourne. Been operating for around about 20 years, and we're probably one of the largest distributors of Thetford products. We've been stocking Thetford products for approximately about 20 years. We sell a large range of all the portable toilets, all the cassette toilets and everything that go into caravans, and of course all the chemicals, which we sell approximately probably about 200 or 300 every month of the chemicals from either the liquids or the satchels.
I'm Blake from Viscount Caravans, and we're proud to partner with Thetford Australia. Since we relaunched the Viscount product in 2018, we've used many of the Thetford components throughout our caravan. We currently use their stove, fridge and toilet in every single Viscount caravan built.
My name's Linda and I work at One Stop Caravan Shop, and we've been in partnership now with Thetford for the last few years, firstly stocking their parts and accessories in our retail store and also our online store.
Since 1963, Thetford has grown from humble beginnings to a global leader in mobile sanitation, refrigeration and cooking systems. Our mission is simple: total comfort. That means high performance sanitation, smart water management, and clever kitchen concepts built for every RV lifestyle. Here in Australia, our customer service and technical support teams are just a call away. Local knowledge, world-class service.
They're very good with their backup service nationwide. The chemicals, you can find them all around Australia, so it's easy for somebody if they're going through Alice Springs or Northern Territory, they can get the same chemical as they buy here.
While we know their product is of a high quality, the thing that impressed us most is the customer service that we receive. That's for us as a manufacturer, our dealer at the repairer's end, and our customers as the end user. We're proud to partner with Thetford Australia and look forward to working with them for many years to come.
They have a lot of spare parts and accessories, and they're quite happy to help consumers and repairers alike in selecting the parts they need. That's why at One Stop Caravan Shop we're happy to support Thetford and highly recommend their products.
With over 600 dealers, retailers and service agents across Australia and New Zealand, and a market-leading 3-year warranty, Thetford stands behind every product. Thetford Australia, built for the road, backed by experience, ready for adventure.
Look, we'll move on. David, I know that this is a topic that's quite dear to your heart, and that's regional tourism and how caravanners are positioned to support local economies and communities. There was some data, I think, to suggest that regional tourism in Victoria, for example, took nearly a $600 million hit in the March quarter. You know, are people, do you think, scaling back their travels? Is this a response to the general cost of living?
It is a cost of living thing, but it's also the fact that Victoria is not promoted to its caravan industry, as a destination spot. So all caravanners feel that, hey, it's winter, I need to go to Queensland, I need to go northern, and it's a great time to go there. But at the end of the day, you know, Bright is awesome in winter. You know, you can visit the ski fields, you can, whatever. The Grampians, we were there a couple of weeks ago, you know, they were empty. The Grampians caravan park was empty. And I just don't understand why, when I buy a new caravan, you know, that manufacturer is not connected to the big four at the Grampians, and I get 5 nights accommodation, or you know, there's this disconnect that I don't see. These caravan parks are empty, and I still see normal prices of $59 a night. Yes. There's no discount, so either these people don't know how to run a business, or they don't know how to invite me in, or there's no mechanism for them to reach me as a customer. So I just feel the caravan industry should somehow connect the caravan park industry, and the two should be one and cross-promoted, you know, as a way of saving this industry, saving tourism in the regional areas.
Marg and Bruce, what are your thoughts?
I think that's a great idea, and particularly there should be a cheaper package deal type atmosphere
with the package,
in the winter in particular, because people, once they come to an area, they might be passing through, but if they stop for a couple of days, they say, oh yeah, there's quite a bit to see here, you know, we might stay another few days, but normally they're on their way somewhere else. So promotion to do a package for 5 days at the regionals.
The Victorian government really messed up with their initiative to get people out camping more into regional areas, especially over Easter. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but Tidal River, a beautiful spot in Wilson's Promontory, they were saying, you know, book for free, no worries, get in there. And they expected a massive influx of, you know, caravan and campers and boosting the local economy. But of course, all these people booked because they didn't have to pay, and because they didn't have to pay,
they didn't show
up. That's right. Yeah.
So it was
that backfired.
It was well intentioned, I suppose, but perhaps not well thought through. You know, I guess, Marg and Bruce, you've done a lot of touring around regional areas. I would imagine you always buy locally, and is that part of your travelling philosophy?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes, certainly do. And we had 3 months in Tasmania at one stage, and during the summer months there, that was one of the best opportunities for us, was with the farm gate stalls. You know, the farm gate stalls that was in the summertime. And let's face it, Tasmania has a very shallow tourism window opportunity. So for the 3 months there, from December through till March, we went there, we were over there, and it was ideal. You know, you get fresh berries and homemade ice cream and things like this from the farm gate stalls.
Always tastes better too, doesn't it?
But they are at the moment promoting come to Tasmania in the winter. So
Yes.
I think that's something.
So that's another one.
You know, come and do the winter. Yes, it's very cold, but come and see it because it's still fun.
Well, how about I suggest something for you and the GoRV team, Max? How about, you know, we open an offer to all the caravan parks in Victoria or anyone in Australia. Email your offers directly to GoRV. We'll have a little bulletin board on GoRV and give us your special pricing, give us your promotional offers. We want to fill your caravan parks. Just let us know when and where. You know, we have thousands of subscribers all looking for a deal and not a, you know, stay 3, pay 4 or whatever, stay 4, pay 3, whatever. Give us something meaningful and we'll come to your town and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars there.
That sounds like a fantastic initiative. So if you're watching, he's got a good idea. Now, David, you know, caravanning is a way of life for a lot of people. They're full-time on the road. Many of them also find a way to make money while they're travelling to support their lifestyle. So what are some of the innovative ways that you managed to make a bit of coin?
Well, again, it's not my idea. It's my wife's. You know, my wife, she loves the comfort of a caravan, and we love visiting towns, right? We're not necessarily off-road. We love the desert, and we visit the desert, but we love our towns. And every town has an op shop. Every town has garage sales on the weekend, right? And we have a habit of visiting those op shops, both in terms of entertainment, it's cheap entertainment, and then you can find some real gems, and I mean real gem finds. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. For those of you who may not be digital nomads, I want to show what my lovely wife does when she goes to a town. She looks for the op shop and she gets her phone. Okay, so hence my props here. Okay, there's no team here. So what I want to share with you now is the simple way my wife does her research in an op shop and finds these little gems which can actually produce a substantial profit. Now, I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, but I will now show you the simplicities of Google search. So a Google app on your phone, here it is. If you open that, we all know we can type a name or something and do a search. There's also a camera icon here. So if I turn my camera icon on, I walk into an op shop and I take a photo of that item. Okay. Its price is $4 in the op shop. I now have taken a photo of it and my trusty assistant who has the glasses here, well, let's do a search. Okay, to search, let's do it. So here it is for sale on eBay at $40. So that's how simple that is.
You've made a $36 profit.
It's actually $47. So I've made a $42 profit, right? Yeah. And the thing is, you buy this for $4, you can put on eBay. It's a global market. So that's an Australian site. So you could be selling this back to England because that's where it originally came from. Or you might grab a cup. You know, what brand is this? I have no idea about.
It's a Royal Albert.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
So I go back to my trusty app. So I go again, hit my camera icon, take a photo of that cup. Okay, here we go. Take a photo and to search. Here we go.
Add to search.
Okay. Here we go. So what's that cup worth? Can we see?
This one?
Yeah.
No.
Is it?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Similar. No, it's not. But it's used Royal Albert. It would be similar.
Okay, so let's visit, see what the value. Again, $4 at the op shop. So can you see the price of it? So we're searching the World Wide Web for...
no, that's a similar one, but it's probably not going to show the price.
Okay. Well, it's a series. It's a part of a series.
So this one is $44.95.
44. Okay.
That's a new one, though.
That's a new one. Okay.
So you'd find.
So you get the hang of it, right? So you can go to an op shop and it's great entertainment. You can find gems if you're into. There's a lot of China, a lot of people moving on and whatever, and you can't sell these things. Yeah, well, lack of a better word. You know, these are people who aren't digital natives. They can't sell this at a local market. So they give it to the op shop, and there's a global market for this stuff if you know what you're doing. And it's not uncommon for my wife to buy 20, 30, 40 items on a trip, all of which, are meaningful. Now, the only problem with my wife is she keeps them all, right? She doesn't sell them. But if you're inclined to trade and go to the effort, you can actually pay for your fuel.
Well, David, David, you might have just kicked off a new industry of op shoppers and thrift shoppers looking to make some decent coin out of their handy finds. So everyone, look, let us know in the comments. What are some of the unique ways that you've managed to make a bit of spare cash on the road? I reckon that's a good idea, David. I know you need to run off. It's a bit of a shame we can't twist your arm to stay, but you're about to hitch up a caravan, maybe?
Maybe, but more important than that, I've got to babysit tonight. So I'm off home to look after my beautiful granddaughter. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Max.
Thanks for joining us, David.
Thank you.
Well, sadly, David did have to go. He had some other plans, but fear not. We have our National Sales Manager at GoRV, Grant Manson. Why don't you join us, mate? Now, because this is a special episode of Tow and Tell, celebrating our 100th issue of our free digital e-mag, and just go to gorv.com.au to sign up, but to get your free monthly edition if you like. We're dialing in another great friend of GoRV, Marty Ledwich. He's been a full-time traveller with his Land Cruiser and his Roadstar caravans for many years, and he's got his Roadstar T-shirt on, just like a good brand ambassador. Marty, welcome to Tow and Tell, mate. My question to you, without notice, is what makes the ultimate caravan?
What makes the ultimate caravan? Oh, I actually reckon the best thing you can have is something that's actually comfortable and that serves your functions. So if you can sit inside that van for 3 days and it's pouring rain, and you're comfortable and you're not tripping over each other and you're not getting in each other's face, and you can watch your television, you can cook your meals and everything else, and then when you're on the road, it's got all your gear in the right spot at the right places, then that's the ideal caravan for me.
I see a lot of new caravans in my line of work, and there is a small part of me, though, that's beginning to wonder if we're going a little bit too far in terms of the creature comforts and conveniences. Whatever happened to packing up a humble tent, a few sleeping bags and a gas top, Marg and Bruce?
Oh, well, yeah, been there, done that.
We used to do that.
That's right, mate. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Got to move on now.
I'm asking the wrong people.
It's getting off the ground that's a problem for me now, Max.
Marty, look, I once saw a caravan that literally had a spa bath, and I've no doubt that there would be some custom builders out there that would probably be willing to do that if the customer wanted it and had the money to pay for it. But it's also weight that has to be towed, isn't it? So surely there's an argument for scaling back on the spa bath and the chandelier?
Oh, look, I must admit, I can't totally say I'm innocent here because, our caravan is a bit like an apartment block on wheels. But we certainly don't have a spa bath, and I have seen a lot bigger vans than ours. I've been horrified by some of the ones I've seen on the road, and yeah, I don't know, maybe we are starting to go a little bit too far. But then technology is changing, and, you can get a hell of a lot more into a van for a lot less weight than what you probably used to be able to do, 15 years ago.
I think that's actually a good point, isn't it? I mean, what's your caravan? It's a Roadstar. You've got the slide out, they've got the full bathroom and the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, look, we got, look, Ken's a good friend of ours, and we look after his user group and everything, so when we told him we wanted to buy a new van, and I won't say the brand that we were thinking about, he said, no bloody way, I'll make you one. So, he's made us a special one. It's got the slide out and everything else. But we were very, very conscious about the weight. We knew it was going to be heavy. And through a lot of work and a lot of research and a fair bit of work with Ken, we still managed to get it in within the weight specs of the Land Cruiser. So, but it's still a heavy van. It's still 3.5 tonne fully loaded.
So, Marg and Bruce, what are the essentials in a caravan that you guys would never do without?
Well, we had ours custom made too, a bit like Marty and Kylie, but we found difficulty with the seating because we're fairly tall and big people. So we have recliners, individual leather recliners. So it's a big van, but it's a strictly two-person van. And we had a little bit of extra length on the bed, and we got a little more height on the shower. So we, like Marty says, you've got to have the comfort. You've got to be able to live in it all the time and feel like you're relaxed and comfortable, and that's what we do.
So inside a van, that's in particular with ours, that's Bruce and Marg's place in there. Entertainment is outside. So when we pull up and we set up a camp for any more than 3 days, we've got the awning out and the privacy screen on. If we put the ends on, well, that's we're staying for a little bit longer and we could be expecting rough weather. But that's our entertainment area out there. Inside is Bruce and Marg's place.
Inside is Bruce and Marg's place.
Inside Bruce and Marg's place.
Is it the same with you, Marty?
Yeah, to a certain degree, although one of the things we did we went from, with this new van, we actually went to a cafe lounge at not cafe, sorry, the club lounge sort of thing at the end. Only because we found occasionally we'd entertain, people we'd meet, other couples and everything else, and we just couldn't fit them around the regular sort of dinette. So we went for the club lounge in this one, and we can actually fit about 6 people around that. And if it's inclement weather or it's too hot or the flies are a pain or whatever, just makes it a little bit easier for us to entertain. But I must admit that's probably more the exception than the rule. Generally speaking, I think we're like you guys. That inside's our little sanctum and outside's where you entertain.
Yeah. Well, Marty, you've travelled pretty much to every corner of the country. What's your favourite destination? Where would you go back to tomorrow if you could?
Oh, goodness. I'll tell you what, one of the nicest places I think we ever went was a place called Cleaverville. It was on the Western Australian coast, and it was a free camping area, and we were on the top of a cliff there overlooking this beautiful blue water.
Oh, stop it.
It was absolutely magnificent.
There's a lot of good spots along that coast, and the Indian Ocean is beautiful.
Yeah, and in fact we had to be very selective because of the dogs, so you couldn't go to places like, was it 90 Mile Beach or 40 Mile Beach?
80 Mile.
80.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, Barn Hill.
But yeah, we went to Barn Hill. We were allowed to go into Barn Hill. That was beautiful. And the other place I think is one of my favourite spots that we've always spent a lot of time is far north Queensland. So anywhere from about Townsville up.
Yep.
We really loved it around there.
Marg and Bruce, you're Victorians, you're travelling frequently. Were you normally part of the mass exodus for the southern winter?
Yes, but not always. Sometimes we go along the coast when there's nobody there, and and South Australia we love because it's not full of tourists.
You're swimming with the sharks, no doubt.
We swam with the whale sharks in Exmouth in Western Australia. That was fabulous.
And Grant, let's bring you into the discussion. Where's your favourite?
I know where yours is, Max. It has to be Golden Beach.
Golden Beach.
Well, getting back to Marty's last point, about having a caravan as your home, Maxie, where do we fit in when all we do is get caravans from manufacturers and take them away for weekends? And
well, the good news is I don't need to own a caravan.
Exactly, right.
I have owned a caravan before. That was sold. I miss it, though. It was a Goldstream camper, one of those wind-up ones, and I loved it. It would go anywhere. It was relatively easy to set up, especially once you've done it a few times. And Goldstream, I always like to just build a good camper, a good van in general. But I just loved the design of it. I really did. Yeah. The way the beds would slide out, it would really open up the internal space.
Actually, a little story I've got for you guys is quick in terms of loaning caravans and going away over Christmas and stuff like that. Not sure what the etiquette is when you're not feeling very well and you become sick over, let's not go into too much detail, but the Thetford toilet got a bit of a workout.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Let's just say that over Christmas.
Did you at least remember to put the cassette
I did. Well, I did. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant. And
then you have to deal with it.
That cassette toilet got full, pretty much that night.
Okay.
And the next night and the night after that.
Okay, well,
and that was one of the, I won't go into who and whatnot, but it was a loaner van. It was a loaner van.
Okay,
true story. Not that long ago either, Marty. Not that long ago.
Look, I know we've had our health issues on the road as well, and sometimes you go to a caravan park too, or sort of campground, or it's got some facility, and you sit there and you think to yourself, I'm so glad I got my own bloody shower.
Okay, I have a confession to make.
Yes.
I have a confession to make. I was in Peterborough. This is 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We were doing a bit of family camping. My youngest son had just turned 1. Maybe he was 9 months old. The barbecue hot plate in the caravan park, we couldn't get hot enough. And we were cooking chicken, drumsticks and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, what was I thinking? Like, the chicken's cooked well enough.
Oh.
The chicken's cooked well enough.
Oh, boy.
It's a little bit pink. That'll be all right. Raw chicken tastes kind of okay. I didn't mind the taste of it. But what happened a number of hours later, about midnight, I must have made 10 trips easily to the amenities block, and I'd be walking back to the tent, realising that, no, we're not done here, and I'd be back to the amenities block. So a reminder to all the folks listening, cook your chicken properly. Now, Marty, we were talking earlier about caravan security. Now, I reckon with all your travels, you'd have a tip or two.
Me? Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, look, in all honesty, look, we've never really experienced, touch wood, any issues with security, right? I can't say that I've ever had anything stolen. I've never looked like having anything taken. I've never seen anybody suspicious around our van. We've always really been quite lucky. But one of the things we do is we obviously always lock up. We always lock all the windows up, pull all the blinds up so nobody's got, looking in and seeing anything that might be worth stealing. And just if it's important, if it's expensive, we just don't leave it out. Pack it away. At least put it in one of the boots or tunnel boot or something like that, or in the cupboard.
Exactly.
Put it back in the car. Just don't leave it out because it's just temptation for somebody to come and take it.
Marty, before we let you go, mate, look, I'm always interested in finding out about the worst experiences that travellers have had in the hopes their stories might help prevent similar things happening to others. And I'm not just talking about bathroom incidents. You were on the road in Broome, as I recall, when the COVID lockdowns happened. And I think that was a time when we saw the best in people, but also the worst.
Yeah.
There were signs telling caravanners to stay out of their communities. People were calling caravanners the cruise ships of the outback, and it was a horrible time. But you were specifically stuck up there, weren't you? So what do you recall about that period, and were there any lessons that you learnt?
Well, look, it was interesting because we were in Katherine when it sort of started, and we were sort of making our way across the top end of Western Australia, and then when it really started to hit hard, we were in Lake Argyle. And you know what, we were looking at a time and we're hearing about all the lockdowns. We thought, maybe we could stay here. But as nice as Lake Argyle is, it's a 140k round trip into Kununurra, and Kununurra was experiencing all sorts of issues. So, look, we made a hightail for it. We got to Broome, and we were lucky we managed to get into there just as they shut everything down. So we managed to make home at the caravan park there in Broome for 3 months. But look, it was, a lot of people say, that doesn't sound like it was a hardship, but I'll tell you, we couldn't swim in the swimming pool at the caravan park. They closed it. Everything's shut. You couldn't do anything. You can't go swimming in the beach because it's full of crocodiles and sharks and God knows what. And it was 40 degrees and 100% humidity every day. It was horrible. But as I said, we were lucky in a way. We weren't in Melbourne. I would have, I had a lot of sympathy for our friends in Melbourne. But I tell you, the biggest thing, if I was to say to anybody, I mean, the chances of something like that happening are probably pretty low, but you've always got to have plans and you've always got to have contingencies. It's so important, what do they say? Plan for the worst but expect the best or something, just always have those contingencies up your sleeve sort of thing, so that if the shit does hit the fan, it's, the spray on you is going to be pretty minimal.
That's a beautiful turn of phrase, Marty. Look, I know that you've just knocked off work, so we'll say goodbye for now. Thanks for joining us, mate, and I'm sure we'll have you on very, very soon. So you guys have known Marty for a while, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we years now, yes.
Met him at a caravan show or something like that, and we had similar interests, and he's a rider, we're riders, so, it's been good, and great to see him again, to catch up again.
No doubt you shared a few beers.
One or two.
Yeah, occasionally.
Happy hours. Now, look, we're going to dial in a couple of other friends of GoRV. They've been with GoRV really from the early days when we launched our free digital e-mag. They're frequent travellers. They're getting about in their caravan, I believe, at the moment. They've got a full-size caravan. They have a camper trailer. They love the outback, particularly the Kimberley. And I know that's one of their favourite destinations, as well as the Flinders Ranges. They've just pulled into Coober Pedy, and they're good enough to join us on the line now after a long day on the road from Port Augusta. Grant and Linda Hanan, thank you so much for joining us on Tow and Tell.
G'day.
Nice to see you guys.
Thanks for having us.
How many kilometres have you done today, guys?
I think it was around about 700, 600.
No, 700 since we left home. Today was probably about 400. Yeah.
Short day.
Yeah, 400.
400K
today.
That's enough.
One of the themes of this episode, guys, has been that of caravan security. Now, I don't want to come across as insensitive, but I've been to Coober Pedy a number of times. I love the place. I really do. It's a quirky little town, but I haven't always felt completely safe in some parts. And I know there are some issues around poverty and neglect. And look, am I being silly, or do you feel that way too?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think it depends on where you go. And
I think, I mean, it's like with everything, you've always been vigilant with wherever you go. We don't have things out in the open. We lock everything up. But we do that everywhere where we travel, not just
That's right.
not just here.
So you're staying in one of the van parks there, are you?
yeah. And the van parks have got good security these days. You know, they've got high fences and
The PIN codes to get through gates.
Yeah. And the one we were at, we were just a little bit out of town, so that's all cool.
Well, we've also talked about supporting local businesses. And when in Coober Pedy, you know, that's one of the towns that they rely on the tourism dollar to some extent. Yeah. Absolutely. So how long are you going to be there? Are you just sort of stopping by, or are you going to stop and take in some sights and perhaps do a little noodling for Opal?
Not on this occasion. So we have stopped previously on many times and done all the tours that you do to go underground. You buy the local pizza, try the bakery, fuel up, go to the IGA, buy all your supplies and stuff, which we'll be doing first thing tomorrow morning because we do need to make some Ks. Our destination really is, for this trip, is up to Uluru. And
that's next.
And we'll be in there for a couple of days doing a few things. So this is really just a night stopover. Great to pull in, just relax, pull back, have a beer, talk to you.
Can I share one of my little experiences in Coober Pedy? This was many years ago. We were doing the Port Augusta or Adelaide to Uluru run once for work many years ago, and pulled into Coober Pedy, went to a pub there, and they served the most magnificent Atlantic salmon that I've ever had in my life. And I was there with a photographer and a few other people, and we're all scratching our heads going, how do they get such fresh Atlantic salmon? There's not an ocean around here for miles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and there's a seafood restaurant there when we were there, the Greek seafood restaurant.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
Okay.
So this is an example, I guess, of where we really rely on truckies, don't we?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And we have discussed a little bit about truckies, Grant and Linda. What are your experiences out on the Stewart Highway with the road trains, the B doubles and B triples?
Oh, what about today?
Yeah, so today there's a new mine that's just gone in just outside of Coober Pedy. And you see the road trains, and they're normally, generally three pulling behind. Today we saw them pulling 4.
No, 5. There was one with
Yeah. So I think 5 trailers. Yeah, 5 trailers. Yeah, it's amazing to see them do it. You know, they're just dead straight, all full.
Actually, I should send you a video. I actually took a video of this truck coming towards us because it's like it was just the never ending.
Yeah, we've travelled with trucks as well. So I've been in a truck in Kimberley and seen firsthand what it's like to change back 15 gears because someone's decided to slow down for him, thinking that he'll go around, when in fact he just wants them to hold the same speed and he'll make the call when he needs to do it. So I've seen that firsthand sitting next to him, and hearing him sort of say, here's another bloody wobbly.
That's right.
Who doesn't want to stick on the speed limit? Yeah, so we've had our fair share. And very early on when we did our first lap, I was a bit of a novice. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was one of those people that pulled over, slowed right down, and only to be flashed. Truckie stayed behind me. We pulled into the servo, and he parked over in one bay, and we were here. And he gets out, and he's a big black bloke. He's a big unit. And he comes over to me, grabs hold of my UHF aerial. He says, "You got this thing turned on?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so. Do you know how to use it?" "Yeah, I think I pushed the thing." He says, "Well, you know back there when you decided to slow down," he said, "I had to change down 15 gears. Oh. And then when you put your indicator on to let me know going around, I know this road. I don't need you telling me when I need to pull out." So he says, and then after that, he sort of said to me, I said, "Look, I'm new to the game." And then he just sort of talked me through and said, "Look, I just want you to hold the speed limit. I want you to put something on the back of your van so I know you got a UHF. Then I can call you up. And then we can have a discussion and I can let you know when I'll pull out." So I've got a lot of respect for trucks these days. We don't stay anywhere near in truck parks or anything like that. They've got a job to do.
Yes.
And we're just enjoying ourselves. So let them do their job.
We've also talked about sharing rest areas with truck drivers. How have you guys gone on your latest trip or in previous travels?
Yeah, we've done a few. I guess if we see a truck has pulled in, we try and, we don't go too close to them. Generally speaking, they only stop for a few hours anyway before they take off. So, and I guess we all want a good night's sleep, so we let them have their rest and we have our rest as well, and we just park a little bit further away. We're not so conscious about the safety aspect, I don't think.
No, I think it's about when you pull up, know that there's a truck going to come. Mm. So wherever you've parked, you've allowed for a truck to come in. So don't park at the front, or don't park so they can't get out of the way. And usually, depending on the steward, there's a lot of little side tracks which trucks can't get on. So you're better off getting off in that parking bay, take a little side track so you're completely out of their way, let them do their own thing, and everyone's happy.
Well, on the Stewart Highway, you could almost throw a stone and find a little place to pull over for the night. Do you reckon that's permissible? I mean, I'm guilty of it. I've done it a few times myself.
Yeah, well, look, we do it all the time, to be honest. So it's about finding the right spot. You don't want to be in the way of other oncoming traffic. So you do need to get off. You do need to, in some cases, I guess you're on people's property, so you need to respect that. So, leave no trace is the motto you take. So get in, get out, and just take the rest that you need. So, yeah. Although to these days, a lot of it's been fenced, so it means you can't get too far off the road, but when you can, take the opportunity to do it.
Well, guys, it's been a long day on the road for you, so thank you so much for joining us for a little quick chat on our special 100th celebratory issue of GoRV's 100th issue. Safe travels. How many Ks are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow will be a full day to Uluru. I think it's around about 600, somewhere there.
Yeah, something like that, because you've got to get up to the turn off and then...
Another 450 Ks.
Curtin Springs is a good spot to stop.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. We've stayed there previously, but we've got some things booked, so we do need to get in so that we can do the...
We're doing the real touristy stuff this time.
Is Cooper Pedy known for their aliens at the moment? Is that?
No, that's not Cooper Pedy. You're thinking of Wycliffe Well, I reckon.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is further north.
Right.
Further north.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me if you aliens passing through Cooper Pedy.
On that note, guys, we will leave it there. Thank you once again.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
God, 600 Ks on the road. That's a good haul, isn't it?
We have done it. We've done 1,000 when we needed to, or 1,100, 1,200 if we really needed to. But We do 300, about 300.
300, 3 hours, and in by 3 o'clock.
That's our threes rule. When we can, when it suits us, but that's our general rule of thumb. Yeah.
Can I say congratulations to you two guys, particularly both of you, Max and to Grant, as being co-creators of GoRV on your 100th podcast today, and you've done a great job over the 8 years I think you've been involved with the whole thing.
We pretty pride ourselves pretty much on being unique, don't we, Maxie? And Maxie's a pretty unique individual, and we're a pretty unique team going on here, I'll tell you.
I remember when you started, and I thought this is going to be dynamic, these two guys together.
Well, I remember, Max, and this was before the brand even was called GoRV. I think you were calling it RV Touring or something. It had a name, and it was kind of this video that you did as a little bit of a teaser to what we were going to do. Like it was, and it was down at Coopers Creek.
So Coopers Creek is this little free camping area in Victoria, and I happened to be down there with the family. I had my camera with me, and lo and behold, there's a creek crossing, right? So people go down there, they go down the embankment, they cross the creek, they come up the other side. That's the idea. There were some hooligans with their sedans, their VL Commodores and whatnot, who decided to drive down the embankment and drive into the creek, basically hang a left and drive down into the creek and use it as a way to wash their car. And they're just splashing water up there. Grand old time. And I'm thinking, really? How are you going to get that back up? Because that's a steep incline, you know. You need a decent Land Cruiser or 84 drive, really. And so I had my camera and I'm filming and thinking, okay, this is going to be good for 50,000 hits on YouTube. And, it was hilarious because then they tried to get up the embankment on the other side, and of course they couldn't. So an 80 series Land Cruiser comes to the rescue, and it was just an example of pure hooliganism, which I really don't have a lot of time for, to be perfectly honest, because you did not need to do that. There are better ways to wash your car. Well, thank you guys for watching. Marg and Bruce, the baby boomers on the road. It's such a thrill to see you guys again. It has been a little while.
Great to be here and to celebrate your achievements, you guys. It's terrific.
Here's to the next 100, I reckon. The next 200, next 500. What are we going to do for that?
I have no idea, but I do know it's going to be great.
We didn't have a birthday cake, didn't have a cake or anything, but we got some pastry. Pastry to finish.
Well, we'll come back in another 100 and celebrate with you.
Lovely. Just to celebrate the 100th, we've kind of hinted this, Max, haven't we? We've hinted, but the big news that we've got is that we're giving away a Jayco Silverline.
Wow.
Wow.
Valued $100,000 to one lucky GoRV reader. And guess what? You don't have to pay $10 to enter. You don't have to... You don't have to jump through hoops or do a million things.
Gets better all the time.
All you have to do is sign up to GoRV and subscribe. That's all you got to do. Subscribe to GoRV. It's free. Read our magazine, and you can go into the draw to win a Jayco Silverline. Now, does it get any better than that?
No,
you can enter.
Thank you.
Okay, we will.
You can enter numerous times.
Too right.
Someone's got to win this Jayco Silverline, and it could be you.
That's a huge prize.
It is.
Isn't it?
Are we done?
You can't turn on social media these days without someone offering you the chance to win a big prize as long as you sign up for a fee. But here at GoRV, we're giving you the chance to win a brand new Jayco Silverline Outback, and the best part is entry won't cost you a thing. This 2025 Jayco Silverline Outback 21653 is fully fitted out for adventure. It has an ensuite, it has a slide out, it has everything you'll need for a big lap of Australia in total comfort. A huge kitchen and dining area, a comfortable bed, all the features and comforts from solar to an onboard lithium battery system, loads of freshwater storage, easy towability and much more. Honestly, I'm not even scratching the surface here. So how do you enter? It couldn't be easier. Just go to gorv.com.au, fill in the entry form and tell us what name you'd give this brand new Jayco Silverline if you were the lucky winner. Again, there's no fee, no cost, and in this day and age, how often do you get the chance to win a brand new Caravan with a free entry? So why not give it a go? Just head to gorv.com.au, Fill in the entry form and this brand new Jayco Silverline Outback could be yours. I'm willing to bet that you deserve to win.